Marfoogle News Live in 3.
Everybody knows now it's about to go down. Everybody knows now we need a timeout. Everybody knows now it's about to go down.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We're going to go over the most alarming stories of the last 24 hours. Of course, if you haven't been following our show, then you might not be as well versed in this stuff as everybody else in the community, but this is absolutely getting nuts. So if you have been following kind of this space for the last 10, 15 years, then you've probably heard Strait of Hormuz. In fact, you've probably heard it in a very, very famous clip of an official talking about, a hypothetical scenario where we have an event happen in the Strait of Hormuz with a painted ship that's painted the wrong flag, and something happens and it starts us off into a horrible conflict. Well, now Iran is planning live fire drills in the Strait of Hormuz amid tensions with the U.S. IRGC naval exercises to take place next week as worries grow of possible U.S. strike. Remember, he's basically saying that if you guys don't, fix your stuff and we don't come to a nuclear deal, that we are going to have an armada-size response. So, pretty big deal if you ask me. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go check out EMP Shield. This is the company that we believe in. We believe it will save lives in the case of an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse attack from any of our adversaries. We also believe it will protect you against a Carrington-level event from the sun. If we have a natural version or a man-made version happen to us, either way, you want your cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, generators, and other things to work. So if you do want those to keep going, then you definitely want to have an EMP Shield on that device, car, or again, home. Marfooglenews.com/EMP. Make sure to use the code MARF. Again, that MARF code will get you $50 off per device, and it will help independent media, our channel, out at the same time. All right, let's bring in my co/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So obviously we have everything in Iran is going south. There's things happening across the planet. Of course, right now gold is at 5,600. It's just absolutely insane. What about this whole Iran deploys terrifying army?
Well, get this. So they're saying that they're ready to deploy. Iran state media has confirmed the military has deployed, not even ready. They've actually deployed 1,000 drones that are ready to respond to a U.S. attack. So Iran is poised to respond to a potential U.S. airstrike after reportedly deploying 1,000 new strategic drones across its military forces. This is coming from the state news agency Tasnim, which is connected to the country's IRGC and reporting the news from the military strategy. The mobilization of the Iranian military technologies come as, we've talked about this armada of ships coming into the Gulf there, coming into play into the theater there of potentially striking Iran. Now, I say this when you think about it, on one hand you go, well, they're just drones, no big deal, we'll take them out. But when you got a massive number, like if 1,000 were attacking, an armada, for example, could they take down 1,000 at once? Would that be possible? Or if 1,000 were going after a specific base, a specific location, or if 1,000 were launched right into Israel all at once, would the air defense systems be able to handle that type of load?
And this is after U.S. officials have actually come out and said that we no longer have naval superiority because of drones. Specifically, there was somebody pretty high up that talked about Iran that said that we can't just crush them as we would have in the past because of these drones. So the drones have definitely changed the playing field. It has definitely changed war in general. These drones, and we're not talking about DJI little drones, even the optic ones on strings. We're talking about essentially missiles with dog fighting capabilities. That's the kind of drones we're talking about. Not to mention very, very fast ones that are maneuverable. So now you have a situation where we don't have the absolute edge in this case, at least until we have some sort of defense against it that is better than what we have. So yeah, and then we have, of course, Putin haunted by Tsar execution fear as war end prediction made by experts. Dex, do you want to talk about that as well? What is going on with this?
That may be the wrong
article. I'm sorry. Hell Unleashed, Trump strike on Iran. I'm in a robot mode. has triggered volcano violence.
Yeah. So, this big rhetoric coming from the supporters of Iran, noting specifically Hezbollah here, saying that that if there is a strike, that it's going to trigger a volcano in the region. And they're not talking about a literal volcano. They're talking about a violent volcano or an uprising of Hezbollah and all the other supported organizations from Iran. So senior Hezbollah official Nafwa Moswai said the U.S. president is looking to strike a deal with Iran or take down the regime. He said Washington could launch an attack, but is unable to predict the aftermath of the strike. Hezbollah, a Lebanese political and paramilitary group backed by Iran, is designated as a terrorist organization by the UK and also the US and many others. Asked how Hezbollah would respond, and he said, "We'll cross that bridge when we get to it." Trump is weighing up military action on Iran and reportedly looks to oust the twisted regime. So the big question is, what's going to happen with these other groups, whether it's the Houthis or Hezbollah or others that have been funded in the past and have loyalty to Iran and are spread out all around the Middle East.
Yeah, he said Washington could launch an attack, but is unable to predict the aftermath of the strike. That was Nawaf Mousawi, said the U.S. president is looking to strike a deal with Iran or take down the regime. Well, I think it's probably the latter, right? They want to take out Iran. They want to put, people in charge that would be more susceptible to, the other side of things, right? You have the president essentially lining up with companies like BlackRock on almost everything now, including down in Panama and other places. You have, of course, with Ukraine from the previous administration, a lot of folks think that there was a huge amount of change as far as the lining up with certain things. But when it comes down to it right now, I believe that this is China and a few of their adversary or allies against, the billion. We've got billionaires versus billionaires. We've got billionaires from this group versus billionaires from this group. It's not so much the left versus right that they've painted it as, right? So all of these things that are going on right now, the news wants to tell you that none of this is connected, that these are all separate events, and it just so happens that all of these, protests, all of these coups, all of these leaders getting taken out, all of these embargoes, all of these militarizations and troop, deployments, all of this is so super just separated. Land acquisitions, all of this is separate. Well, I'm telling you, it is not. And people will soon see that. They will soon see that this is all connected, and it is getting closer than ever to something that none of us want to see. None of us want to be vindicated that have predicted World War III is here. It is already starting, in my opinion. It has already started. And in history books, in 50 years, that will show that. If you see everything that's happening right now, I think that we don't know who exactly is in charge, who they have behind them or above them. But one thing we do know is that there's no coincidences here. Everything that is happening just as planned. And it's like you plan this, then a response to that. Then they respond to this, then they respond to that. Everything that's happening right now is really up in the air, but they have war gamed this all out. And if you're going along the path of the war games, it is not going to be fun for us Americans. It's not going to be fun for you Europeans. It's not going to be fun for anybody. We're going to talk about over on Marfoogle TV, China. Now the Pentagon is putting out that they are planning for a total war scenario. They're talking about a national total war, that they are going to turn in their civil/military into one, that they are going to use their billion people as a weapon, that they are going to, that essentially you won't be able to separate the two when it comes war against the United States. They are going to weaponize their entire country. And again, this is something that everybody needs to watch tonight. Again, Marfoogle TV, our sister channel, we're about to talk about all of it. We're going to show you, and I think this is one that you definitely want to hear. Again, make sure to tune in. If you are watching the replay, just click here. If you're in the chat, just stay there. You'll be ported right over. We'll see you in just a minute over on Marfoogle TV. Again, we will talk about everything, including all sorts of other things changing over there on Marfoogle TV.
Everybody knows knows now we need a timeout. Everybody knows now it's about to go down. Everybody knows now we need a timeout.